yeah, I think that overall, like, they represented very well everybody across the board and people, and that's what's really great about comic book movies. And Thor: Love and Thunder specifically, it really did feel like an actual summer blockbuster.
That aspect as well. Now, since we were talking about things we didn't like, I'm gonna touch on something I didn't like. I didn't like that there was basically nothing from Ragnarok, other than the fact that Ragnarok happened. Yeah. And that's not a spoiler, because, I mean, it's just, there's nothing. It basically, this was almost like a fresh start. Yeah. It was mentioned.
Yeah, very, very, very briefly. And in the most, like, really comedic way. And they kind of just laughed it off almost.
Howdy.
The stale intro.
What's up? This is your favorite nerd, Simon Stone. Whoop, 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 whoop. Should be some music and shit happening right there.
Yeah. Highlights. Fireworks.
With me is executive producer, DJ, Dale, Buck Naked, known as in LA.
We were supposed to bring that up already.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry,
well, I mean,
that was just in LA. It was just a weekend. It was a bad weekend.
Which time? Yeah. Shout out to Pons with the Rio, Dale. Yeah. He's like, go back to Texas, Rio.
Now, we are having a special episode here because we have seen Thor: Love and Thunder. I almost did the Thundercat thing right there. I had to catch myself.
Meow.
So,
did you just meow at me?
Okay, so we're gonna start this off spoiler free. We're not gonna spoil you guys. We are gonna spoil, but not yet. We're gonna warn you before. Okay. So, first impressions.
Yeah, I think overall the movie hits all the right notes. Yeah. It hits a good, comic book movie feel. Like there's a lot of laughs, some pretty upsetting points within it, and I think that overall my favorite part was just the overall like cohesiveness that like everybody seemed to have. Like it was a very very campy kind of movie. Like everybody. The good guys come in, and then they're the bad guys. The problem, it's very traditional, like story arc around like comic book stuff. Not a whole lot of surprises, and so I think especially because we got fed so much, during the previews and everything. Like, I think it lived up to the expectations of being a good comic book movie.
Exactly.
I think that was probably what everybody expected. Taika Waititi is awesome at what he does, and definitely. So I think overall it was a good movie. I have some complaints and grievances, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad that they haven't just ended things. Is probably the best way to put it like that. Yeah. But overall, I think it was a good movie, and I think folks are gonna enjoy it.
Good movie. Definitely a great Thor story arc. I'm trying to think things that are in the ad so I don't spoil anything. Here I'll make it very general. Great villain. Yeah. A lot of laughs. I like the fact that the villain was never funny.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's not spoiling anything for you. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah, he had his cheeky moments, but he really wasn't there wasn't a comedic side to him and stuff. It was that he was taunting and kind of
he was actually
disparaging.
This was probably the first villain since Thanos that I felt was an actual threat.
Yeah.
That there was a chance that he could really wreak some havoc if they didn't stop him in time.
Yeah.
I will say that.
And expanding on, the arc part of what we were talking about too, I think that really kind of following in suit of what Spider-Man does, where the idea, and this isn't a spoiler either because everybody sees the mighty Thor, Jane Foster, in the the commercials and everything, but even within the movie itself, several times they show that just like Spider-Man, like anybody could be Spider-Man. You know what I mean? That's kind of the whole premise of the Spider-Verse and everything. And so they did a really good job of that anybody could be a superhero. Anybody could, you know, rise to the occasion. And I think that overall was something that, like, it was a feel-good moment. You know, a bunch of those little feel-good moments.
A lot of feel-good moments. Like you, I had a few discrepancies that we'll probably feel about the same way about. I really liked, also, I like Valkyrie's arc as well.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he did more in 2 hours than some of the Marvel shows have done with 6.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a lot more character development that I felt happened in this movie. Even with the brief, and this is, again, we're not spoiling anything. Even with the Guardians of the Galaxy, there was something there that, you know, there was some kind of, it moved the story forward.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me now like, okay, they need to hurry up and release this Guardians of the Galaxy, which is that this year or next year? So
I think the holiday special comes out this year, and I know we have Baby Groot coming out this year, or like Groot's. I Am Groot series, and so we have some things coming, but I don't think Volume 3 comes out until next year.
I don't think it comes out until next year. So, but I guess we can talk about some of the things we didn't like without being spoiler. Can we do that without spoiler? Okay, so something I did not like. I'm trying to think, is this going to be spoiler? Okay, so something I did not like. I don't like that they somewhat depowered Thor. I don't think that's giving it away.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't like that he was somewhat depowered.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we've seen him in other movies where he was just, you know, completely unstoppable.
Yeah.
And if something happened, he could take out an entire, just in seconds. Like, the whole army is nullified with him showing up. And
I feel like they started off with that pretty strong, and that was kind of why that was so over the top with the Guardians aspect and stuff, because they do set up the threat a little bit better and more quickly than like, you know, the television shows and stuff. Like, from the beginning, we know the problem, and I think that even that building stage of the problem rising and things happening throughout the multiverse, universe, whatever. Actually, it's really, I think it's just the universe specifically.
I think this is just the universe. I don't think...
But I don't know.
I'm happy.
I don't know. And I think that when we go into the spoiler side of things, I think that that's where this is going to tie in some of the other properties, because of really what happens within... the spoilers within the movie, they open up the full door to what's ahead for the next phase, and I think that part of the world of the comics is about to really come to life, and we're going to see a lot of things happen that like probably is going to be fan service that people might not like though. And that's part of what my complaint is. I didn't like the ending of this movie for the extra credit scenes. Like, I like the ending and the reveal of Love and Thunder and all that kind of stuff. Like, I thought that was cute, and it was, you know, it moved the story forward on his growth. But, like, what they did kind of took it away a little bit. And it's in the sense of, like, I'm just going to go full on Millie Bobby Brown here and just be like, you know, more people need to die in the Marvel Universe and stay dead and be... you know, the story piece that they are to carry it on. And so, you know, I think that overall, like, they represented very well everybody across the board and people, and that's what's really great about comic book movies. And Thor, Love and Thunder specifically, it really did feel like an actual summer blockbuster. You know,
it does,
like,
you know, that aspect as well. Now, since we were talking about things we didn't like, I'm gonna touch on something I didn't like. I didn't like that there was basically nothing from Ragnarok, other than the fact that Ragnarok happened. And that's not a spoiler, because I mean, it's just there's nothing. It basically this was almost like a fresh start. It was mentioned.
Very briefly, and in the most like really comedic way, and they kind of just laughed it off almost.
So, and that I did that because to me Ragnarok was a big deal. And it was like kind of like
this happened.
You know, it's like no, man, that's not. You know, it should have been. You know, I feel like there should have been more elements from Ragnarok that carried over.
Yeah.
There should, because, and like you, if people don't die, there's really no repercussions for anything. It's kind of like, don't worry about it. You'll come back. You're good. Don't worry. I like the idea that there are, there will be a change in status quo. There will be some real world repercussions to our actions. This basically made it where it's like, don't worry about it. You get another chance to get it right next time. And it's like, and to me, that also takes away some of the heartfelt story element, because I don't feel like, for example, Tony being gone. Let's use that for example. Yeah. It's been how many years, and he's really gone. And you're like, wow, he has not made one appearance. Steve Rogers, not one appearance, not anything. Black Widow. And with her situation, I doubt she would come back because of the whole lawsuit thing. But like, it actually but it works to me that they're actually gone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
and I think that Thor is popular enough that when we go into the spoilers, that like the solution that I feel like was poised within this movie for if Chris Hemsworth was going to leave the Marvel Universe after this movie, the solution that was posed, and it's not Jane Foster actually, I think that's actually what's kind of crazy is that like, overall we kind of just are getting the same fan service in a refurbished kind of way, and I'm like, we need a better story, and so with that being said, because like I feel like at this point we really need to go into some spoilers. We probably should just go ahead and talk very open and freely. Yeah.
Okay, if you don't want to be spoiled,
stop. Get out.
Run for it. Run for it.
Running up that hill. Running up.
No, is it Run for it or Run for it?
I don't know, but I'm not singing Run Up That Hill.
I'm not singing that either. That was Juvenile.
Running up that hill. No, I'm thinking Stranger Things, bro.
Oh.
You haven't seen the second season?
I've not watched the rest.
All right, spoilers. Well, I'm going to Vecna his ass. Vecna. Damn, man. All right, cut.
Yeah, cut. Let's stop everything.
Everything. We're done.
Download the NETFREQtv app for this full episode and other exclusive content. Nerd up.